Are you following us?
Yeah. We just like a Chinese government invite us to talk about a topic.
Don't say that.
Really, they were saying that is true. Wow.
I already think that.
Yeah.
Hi, this is Lu, and here's what we are going to do today. Today we are going to talk about being civilized, and we have Alia and Xiao.
Let's go.
Okay. What is your definition of being civilized?
So I'm kind of dumb. So I was like, okay, what does civilized mean? And so I looked it up online, and they were saying like, oh, civilized is like the appreciation of like the arts and the cultures and like the oneness. So I have a lot of thoughts about that, but I'm gonna leave it to
Xiao?
Yeah. So I don't know. For me, just maybe the same. The culture and the food. And the guys talk about some bad words. How the guys living in this city? Maybe for me, the civilized. How to pronounce? Civilized.
I think maybe the easier start is to understand what is uncivilized, and then we can get to the point of being civilized, right?
Yeah.
So, like you said, somebody curse, say the dirty words.
For example, like Chongqing guys. If Chongqing guys just say hello and ni hao, it's not like the normal guys, but you see,
This is civilized. You're welcome.
yeah. I mean.
I'm kind of lost in your explanation.
Chongqing. Sometimes I think Chongqing guys really like just looks like the American black guys. We are the same, you know. We are the same.
Sorry, Alia. Out of nowhere.
Okay, I'm ready. Chongqing.
Yeah,
guys.
we are similar. We are
Like,
similar.
do they go like south? Like, what's going
We
on?
welcome every guest. We invite every guest to Chongqing and be friendly, except Chengdu guys. Yeah, just like you don't like the old white guys. You know what I mean? We are the same.
Stop being racist.
No, not racist. Just play joke. I think it's the same because Chongqing guys always say words like very short, like.
You mean direct, cut to the point, short but aggressive?
We also call my friend by nickname, but not the real name. For example, Emily. We will call this. If we are really friends, we will call it Yanzhen.
Okay.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Like glasses.
Oh, okay.
If we are really friends, I will call you maybe just like glasses.
No, you can't use glasses. Give me another nickname.
Yeah, you work a bit. Can be long hairs.
Well, it's not mine. Give me another nickname.
Fake hair.
It's fake hair. What do you call
That
it?
could be your nickname.
Fake hair.
I think this is just like the black guys. We just use a nickname for each other. This is our friendliness.
Okay.
Yeah, but I think Xiao's barbarian-like language actually remind me of something because I think you are American coming from which state?
Georgia. So I'm from the
Georgia.
south.
And Atlanta, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
Do you know we have
Classic.
a similarity? Because Chongqing is called the Atlanta in China. In the hip-hop music industry.
Really?
Yeah,
have a
we are
lot of
called
tribute.
重大兰
重特兰的。
重特兰大
重特兰。
亚特兰大重特兰大
重特兰。
Atlanta.
Yeah.
You know, no, I thought it
Because
was
here we
because-
have a lot of trap music.
Yeah, trap music.
I thought it was because you guys have a lot of gays.
No, that is Chengdu. That is Chengdu.
Oh, it's
It's also Chongqing.
Yeah, I heard it's Chongqing. But like, no, Atlanta is the home of the gays.
Really?
Yeah,
I don't know that.
I'm from there.
Because we
I
have
only
we have a
imagine
Dutch.
Atlanta with like the African American with a lot of gold chain and rich.
They don't really
Yeah,
exist
no?
like that in Atlanta.
Because I was like fooled by the musicians,
Media. Fooled by the media.
rappers.
Yeah,
Yeah. We have a lot of rappers just in Chongqing. They just
Oh yeah.
the hip hop step in Chongqing just like trap.
Oh yeah,
They
like,
like
it's
travel
definitely
everywhere.
a style. I've noticed it on the dating apps. Like I've definitely noticed it. Like they're more hip hop than black people sometimes. I'm like, okay, I'm like okay.
The most famous rapper just come from Chongqing.
He's like 18. Like his name is 18 or something, or 17.
17.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
no. It's 30, 35 or 36, maybe like that.
No, like there's a guy who's like a Chongqing rapper whose name is like 17. He's a number, okay? He's a
Number.
teen number. And like I found that out because I was going to like the bars on 9th Street and like okay, like bring this back to civilization, like or being civilized. I was going to bars on 9th Street and I met this girl who was like, "Come party with me." And I was like, "Okay." And so I'm like, "Oh yeah, how old are you?" Cuz the first thing she tells me is like, "Oh, do you know this hip hop artist, 17, 19, 25? I don't know his name." But she's like, "Do you know him?" And I'm like, "Oh no." And like there's warning signs. They went off in my head. And I'm like, "How old are you?" And she's like, 13. And I said, "Oh, 30." And she's like, 13. So what's going on with that, China? What's going on with that 13-year-old taking shots?
The difference between the
We don't have a law to
Yeah,
control that.
yeah. Like
we
they just
have
all
different
going
culture. I think just for the alcohol between America and China. For example, if you are parents in American, you cannot let your kids to have alcohol. Anyway,
You know, in China,
We still do it though. Like it's like
it's legal to let children drink, but it's not legal for children to play video games more than 1 hour.
yeah.
So this is the cultural difference.
Our parents will say, for example, when I was 7 years old, or maybe six years old, my father will say, try do it. Try to alcohol. If you do it, whoa, you are really good. My father will think you are good, and I'm proud of you.
for
If you-
drinking this alcohol.
yeah. If you do that, my father was, yeah, you are my son. Yeah, you're really nice.
No, like for me in America, like growing up, there was never like a no, you can't drink alcohol. Like growing up when I was like in high school, my mom would buy her little wine coolers and I'd be like, "Hey mom, I want a wine cooler." And she'd be like, "Okay, take it." And then I drink half of it and it just sits around. So it was just like I had freedom to like try alcohol because my mom was always like, "I'd rather you try alcohol with me than to try alcohol like with other people." And like a problem happens. And then like as soon as I got old enough, I tried alcohol with other people and a problem happened. So my mom was right.
I think for most Chinese, drinking wine, especially red wine, would be considered as a very civilized thing.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
Not
I have a
usually.
question that I want to interject here. So in China, when you say that drinking red wine is considered civilized, is there a shade of because it's European?
Yes.
Oh.
But I think a lot of other kind of alcohol are also European, but I think even for European, drinking wines are kind of like civilized, no?
You get your
But is the
wine.
concept of being civilized trying to be European?
I only think of like the opposite, like we don't drink vodka to be civilized because we don't consider Russian to be civilized.
Are
Sorry.
Russians European?
For Russian people. I think Russian are Asian.
No.
They're on like
Yeah,
the
Asian.
Asian continent, right?
Part of
The
Asian
east
part
of Europe.
The east
East
of
of
Europe.
Europe.
I think at this very special year, European wouldn't consider Russia to be Europeans.
Yeah, for sure. Because you have done really bad things for European. You were
And also, I think because when you
Wow, you just throw them away because they've done bad things. How uncivilized.
I think being civilized, like drinking red wine, can relate to a lot of intellectual things. Like we can drinking wine and talking together, right?
Oh, yeah.
You cannot drink wine and listen to hip hop music. Sorry. Oh, okay.
Wow, we can try next time. Yes, cool.
Talking of
Drink wine
music,
and listen to hip hop music.
what kind of music do you think is civilized or uncivilized?
Beethoven,
Is civilized.
Chopin's,
Classical.
classical music.
What
Music that you don't quite understand because it's in a different language, but it sounds pretty.
So to be civilized, it's important to be not to be understood by most people.
Because I feel like the idea of civilization, even though they say, like, if you look it up, they're talking about, like, oh, the celebration of different cultures. But to really be civilized is to, like, kind of pursue this one culture, this one ideal. So it's not very much so celebrating the difference. So to, like, if I can't say to be understood, you know, I can't put to be understood and also civilized together, or even to be misunderstood and civilized together, because it feels like to be civilized is to be kind of valued by someone who feels like their opinions matter to you.
We are pushing the topic to another level.
Yeah.
Are you following us?
Yeah. We just like a Chinese government invite us to talk about a topic.
Don't say that.
Really, they were saying that is true.
I
Wow.
already think that.
Yeah.
I hear sarcasm isn't like something that's like very widely used in China. I don't know.
Sarcasm is widely used in Chongqing.
Oh, my people.
Yeah.
I see what
That's
you
why we said we share something together with the Atlantic people.
Yeah, Chongqing. The blacks of China.
Yeah. Yeah. That's it.
When I grew up, my mother never talked like in a very direct way, always using the ironic way, which is killing me but pushing me into a more intelligent person.
No, I do realize like I feel like my husband wasn't like raised in a way where like, okay, he was raised in a way where his mom, instead of being direct, she would be like passive. And then my mom would be like sarcastic and also passive. But like I could also figure it out more. Like it's like a brain game. Like you grow up exercising your brain a little bit more. And I think my husband is like book smarts, but he's not like street smarts. And me, like I'm street smarts, but I'm not book smarts.
So do you think being intelligent or smart is essential to be civilized or understand being civilized?
No, you can be a fake. You can be a fake. And the civilized people probably wouldn't even know you're faking.
Wow. So you just other guys don't know you are fake. That is okay. Yeah.
You can be fake.
So based on your experience in Chongqing, do you think people here are civilized from an outsider's perspective?
Yes,
I can give you 2 minutes to think.
2 minutes. 2 minutes.
the
to think.
on face. You know?
You know, like okay.
Stay honest to the camera.
Civilized. How are you doing civilized again? Civilized in what ways? Like appreciating different cultures and like, you know, like really kind of like fancy and.
Do you think the people in Chongqing are fancy?
Chongqing. People in Chongqing. Okay, no. People aren't fancy. People in Chongqing aren't fancy, but it's not a bad thing. Like, don't come for me. It's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
Okay? But like Chongqing kind of feels like you said, it's home for me.
Yeah, we're very down to earth,
Very
and
down to
authentic
earth.
people, right?
Yeah.
Very local.
Cheering all the
authentic.
fancy part.
Yeah. Like I've been to the fancier parts of Chongqing where it's just like, oh, like 800 R&B for a meal, and I'm just like, ugh. But no, overall, I feel like the average Chongqing person isn't really like super fancy. They're just kind of relaxed. And then you'll have like the people that like to like follow me home with the cameras, and I'm just like uncivilized. But other than that, like overall, I wouldn't say that Chongqing is uncivilized, but I wouldn't say like it's like super posh civilized.
I appreciate your use of language.
Oh, nice.
Civilized.
Because Chongqing has really confidence with everything in this city. They just, we are the best.
Let's talk from an insider's perspective. Do you think people in Chongqing are barbarian? Barbarian.
What
Not
is
barbarian. Barbarian. 野人. Like
No.
野蛮人.
No, they are not.
No?
No. They just. I just think Chongqing guys just think we are friends, so we cannot do some things not illegal. Just like we don't need the.
You don't need to be formal.
Yeah, not so formal. We can do some. We can really talk with, like you're really my sister. Yeah. You can fuck me. Yeah. Because Chongqing guys will just like that, just like they are not.
That's not barbarian.
No.
That's trying to have a good night.
No, I just want to say. For example, they always say bad word for each other.
Because
looks
most
like they are
people
rude.
think people in Chongqing curse a lot. Because sometimes we don't curse, we use that as a strong emotion. Or like we
Yeah.
don't call our honey. We call them, what do we call them? What do you call your wife? How do you call your wife?
I'm not Chongqing guy, so I just call my wife Alia, the lover.
I don't
That's
believe
older.
that.
That
I never heard people say that in China.
No, Alia.
You just call her up, my lover.
Why?
No, how do you call her directly when you are with her at home?
Yeah, the name. I call her name.
Okay.
Yeah, just who you are. I say call her Chen Chen. Just like that.
Because sometimes I think the people in Chongqing, they are very extrovert.
Oh yeah.
婆娘
They don't use the polite language, like even to the stranger. They don't have the excuse me part. They were like, hey, come here, or something like that. Very direct.
like, hey dude,
Considerized.
hey dude,
Yeah.
hey dude, like black guys. Hey dude, hey 敌味儿，兄弟伙，
Like buddy.
Not like hey man or hey hello, hey dude, come here, yeah, come, do it, come here, just like that. We have a lot of 敌味儿normally strangers just like 敌味儿
Like brother, right?
yeah 老师
Yeah, that's
yeah I cannot understand
Isn't
why
that teacher?
yeah
Yeah.
teacher
Okay.
Chongqing guys
Is
call
that
every
not polite?
it's the synonym of buddy, guys.
yeah
Oh, so wait. I thought it was teacher.
Yeah,
Teacher.
it's teacher.
I thought people like somehow knew I was a teacher.
No,
They
no
just call me
yeah,
that.
yeah,
we call
every guy-
everybody teacher.
yeah
Wow. Well, I don't want to be called teacher anymore. I thought
这
I
位
was
老师
special. They're like,
阿莉亚老师
like, oh my gosh. I was like, ooh, you know, my students started calling me Alia Laoshe, and I'm like, okay, I got a title now.
Do you know, like in Japanese, they say Sam, like for teacher? Yeah, the Japanese word for,
sensei
Oh, sensei.
sensei
as,
Hey.
as teacher. So because out of respect, so we use that like in a similar way in Chinese,
yeah
in Chongqing dialect.
Okay, but in Chongqing dialect, you also use it for your friend.
for foreigner for stranger
Stranger, not
stranger.
friend.
yeah for stranger for
So it's
example
not just foreigners; it's also
for
like,
every guy for
Oh,
every
for
guy for example
everyone.
I just want to say I want to sell my house yeah come here teacher see my house and buy it well I'm a boss of a restaurant hey teacher come in and have a noodles just like that, the teacher call everybody
Oh, is it
In
kind of
Chongqing.
like you can learn something from them? Like, oh
you
yeah,
can learn some money from this
yeah. Let me learn how to take your money.
I don't know why
Here.
but I don't know why Chongqing guys
It's
So
just
is that a form of then it's respect then?
yeah, we have a very unique culture going on in Chongqing. Just don't mistake Chongqing for as the representation of China, as you can like take Atlanta for the United States. You know, it's kind of like the same thing here.
I don't know. Atlanta is the United States, and
Yeah.
I mean it's not
Give me
Texas.
some water.
So is there a social rule that we don't currently follow that you do wish people would follow?
I wish people would wear socks. When I was younger, I was very uncivilized and I would never wear socks. And now, as an adult, I truly understand the importance of wearing socks. And now I kind of get triggered when people aren't.
I wish people could stop making phone calls. We can use WeChat now.
What about when they make calls to your WeChat?
Yeah, they want something for you. Which one?
Stop doing that either.
Yeah.
I think everything can be solved by a message. You can have voice message. You don't have to call me.
Because you will not reply as soon as possible, so they will call you. Maybe.
Yeah.
For example, not you. For me, just like yeah, Xiao, your mother is really have an accident. You must come. You will call me. But how can I get the messages.
That's a special circumstances. Most of the time, people aren't calling you to tell you that their parents are dying.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or even worse, people in East Asia will call you.
Yeah. In competent, 柬埔寨怎么讲?
Burma?
No, not.
Is that the country?
Burma is a country.
Yeah.
No,
we have a lot of fraud there. Chinese doing fraud in Burma. They make a lot of phone calls towards the mainland in China.
Why do you go there and the cards and let you make
To
money for
deceive
them?
you.
It's the Indians in America.
Wow.
I'm sorry, but like if you're getting a fraud call, it's someone who is Indian on the phone.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought
India.
they were just like doing all the phone services.
Yeah. Why is that?
Because it's cheap.
It's cheap, so they
They
just
can
like
pay people cheaper
Yeah.
to
And they
answer the
speak
phone from
perfect
India.
English. Or not perfect.
And they speak enough English that
America sucks.
Chinese sucks.
Chongqing #1. Yeah. I think so.
To answer
What's your question? I can-
So, what's something that you wish people would follow, like a social rule?
Please, don't change Twitter and X. No, you're not Elon Musk. Just to change the name of Twitter, just into
into
X.
X.
Yeah, I hope stop these things. X is really ugly. Yeah, this is the only things I want to say. In the
You can say that to Elon Musk.
yeah, he will destroy my ID. My account will disappear if I say this for Elon Musk.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
we'll see. Yeah, you are on my blacklist.
Are you a Twitter user?
Yeah,
Wow.
X user. Yeah.
No, you are an X user.
Yeah, I'm illegal in China. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, you're over here admitting to committing crimes right now. I'm like, wow. I'm
crazy,
amazed.
yeah,
This is
crazy.
exciting. My hands are sweating.
Do you think teacher needs to be civilized off class, after school?
How civilized are we talking? It's the same thing because like
For example, do you think teachers have the right to curse
oh yeah.
in front of students? No.
No, they probably shouldn't curse in front of the students.
Yeah. Especially when we are English teacher, right?
Yeah. But like I have kids that will like throw out a curse word and then I'll be like, spell it. So those are like my older kids and like at that point they already know the word. So you just want to make sure they're using it grammatically correct. I'm not really doing but also like parents, any parents that are watching this, if your kid's already using the word, it's not like the teacher's teaching them, but you do want them to use English correctly, right? So
Yeah. I have to admit, I do teach my students curse words. I don't want them to say it, but I want them to understand it. If they hear other people saying that to them.
Yeah, my son always say, "What the fuck?" Right.
how old is your son?
5 years old.
Oh,
I said, why? What they say is you think, what the fuck? You have no, you just happy every day. Yeah, you buy everything you want, you eat whatever you want. Nowhere you need to say what the fuck. I just will play the phone game. What the fuck?
I think the tricky part is
But
the
it's
age
okay.
of the student.
yeah.
Pay attention to the age.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
For some ages, just repeat everything, so which is funny. Do you think teachers should be uncivilized from time to time to make the students feel that they are also human? The teachers are also human. Because sometimes when teachers are perfect, students may feel that no, it's impossible. There's no perfect human being like.
I say no.
Well, I don't know how.
No. Be a real man. Be a real guy is better. So,
Oh, so teachers should be.
yeah,
Teachers should be
you will
uncivilized.
let the guy. You will leave.
Like picking their nose in class sometimes.
I just think of the teacher. Maybe it's better to let the kids or let the student knows what I'm thinking about. Why I'm angry. If I'm angry because of you, I will let you know. It's really bad. Stop doing things. No.
Yeah.
So, as the only one with a child, is it important for you to teach your son to be civilized? Is that a value that you?
Yeah, I will teach him, but he will not listen to my teacher everywhere. Yeah, sometimes. For example, I say do not say any what the fuck, any again. You always say this word for mom. Why I cannot say? Yeah, because you are young. So you are little kids. You cannot say. It's difficult to teach this boy what can say, what not can say. Well, I always think about myself. How old the guys, the boys or the girls, how old they can say this. For example, 18 years old, this guy will be a fool, get every right from the government, yeah, can vote for every guy, can drinking alcohol. Maybe in America, maybe it's 22, yeah?
21.
21. For example, 21, the guys can go to bar and buy the alcohol by himself, so he can say bad word. That's like, yeah, today is my 21 birthday, so I can say, fuck you, just like that. That's crazy.
But I'm curious. I think being civilized is so much more than just not simply cursing. So as a parent, do you wish your children to be civilized growing up, which means that he will possibly be a rule followers? Do you think it is a slimmer chance for him to succeed in the future?
I don't care.
Do you want him to be a rule breaker or follower?
I hope he just can become himself. Maybe not so civilization. That's okay. If you just civilizing for the important guys, you wanna be civilizing for them guys. That's okay. Do not be everywhere just like some guys, just like Japanese, yeah, civilizing everywhere. But
Yeah, very civilized.
Yeah.
Do you think Japanese are civilized or more civilized than Chongqing?
You know who I think is more civilized?
Korea?
Yeah.
Why?
I lived in Korea for a year, and it's different. It's similar, but it's also different, I will have to say. And in the way of, again, earlier we were talking about being a fake civilized. I do agree that Korea is pretty fake, personally. It's
As a Korean?
well, everyone's going to the same doctor. But on other notes, it's there's this idea or this desire to appear a certain way that, again, Chongqing, we're really relaxed, comfortable here. But in Korea, there's this desire to be perfect. And there's this idea that, I have to be civilized. That really reminded me of my childhood, if I can take that back a little bit. Because growing up as a brown person, I was always taught you have to be civilized, you have to be very proper, to the point where as I was raised, it was you have to speak a certain way, which that helps me in being an English teacher, and people can hear me and they're like, wow, your voice is so clear, or your English is so good, which I grew up speaking English, so
So I want to share my shallow opinion on Korean language. I think their language do not sound very civilized. It's very because I don't understand language, but compared to Japanese, I do not understand it either. But when two Koreans speaking to each other, I would think they were arguing or
well,
fighting.
that's funny. You immediately looked at me.
감사합니다. Something very
No, because they
aggressive.
have more of a monotone, 감사합니다, 네, 안녕하세요, 저는 엘리입니다. So
Something
that's
Italian, with a lot of vowels.
No, but I would say that you saying that about Korea is funny, because that's what Americans say about Chinese. Even being in China for about I've been here since I want to say December-ish of last year. I still will hear people talking to me, or people in Chongqing at least, that will speak to me, and I'm just why are you yelling at me?
Yeah.
So I can understand that. I feel there's certain languages that have more of a rhythm to it, but Korean's one of those languages that aren't supposed to have a rhythm to it, and I feel the tones in China make it seem more sharp. Why are you guys yelling at each other?
Yeah, interesting. I think it's also what the French think about Americans, right?
Oh, do they think where's the French? We need a French person.
The American English always stand out in a French restaurant.
Frenchman will think Deutschman.
Oh, the Dutch.
Yeah, Dutch. I'll show you. They always.
What about the Germans?
The German just like argument everywhere.
I think Germans are so much quieter than Americans. They seldom speak, like in France or something like that.
That's because the language is
French
so unpleasant. No, I'm just kidding.
Everybody is being very interesting
the
now.
German words is really long, and they have this.
Yeah, German is also very aggressive.
Yeah.
Common here.
Yeah. For example, in English we will say welcome, but in
Welcome.
welcome. Just like you, why you just so rude?
You gotta clear your throat every time you speak.
Their beauty language is French. In Chinese guys just say like.
French is pretty beautiful. Yeah, French is a very beautiful language. I learned it for 2 years. Don't remember a lick of it.
Bonjour.
Bonjour, comment ça va? Comment allez-vous? Whoa.
So let's cause trouble. What's the most civilized language? What's the least civilized language?
Wow.
Chinese. Very civilized. Yeah. I
You
don't
mean
know
Mandarin?
it.
You mean Mandarin?
Maybe Mandarin. I don't know. I really.
Because Mandarin, for example, Mandarin and the Cantonese is totally different.
Like,
because
you're talking about Cantonese?
Cantonese.
Cantonese.
No,
Nobody
so
can say.
Mandarin is the, except for Cantonese,
Okay.
the standardized language that most people in China speak in school.
Okay, Mandarin. Then I would agree. I think Mandarin is the most like civilized language, mostly because of like how words are used. But again, I don't really know Mandarin, so
Yeah.
an uncivilized language I think could be Spanish.
Wow. Wow, la quanta passava.
I think for me the most civilized language is Japanese or any language with very complex structures, or they have another system to distinguish strangers and acquaintance. How to say that?
Acquaintances?
Acquaintances, yes, acquaintances.
So
You
Korean.
use two different kinds of you, like Ru or Ju, like. for
But that's
close
like a
friends.
lot of languages are like that.
Not
In Mandarin
every.
the same. 你
Like English do not have that, right?
It depends on where you're at. Like you, y'all.
Wow. Oh.
Y'all. Oh, y'all is. Yeah,
That's like kind of like
okay.
y'all. But it's like I'm from the South, so
Everybody's y'all.
well, y'all.
Yo, bro. Yeah, bro. Yeah. Yeah.
He keeps defaulting to blackness.
Do you think sometimes we use uncivilized language to show that we try to be friendly to strangers? Like,
Oh yeah,
we don't want to show the distance, right?
yeah. So
Yeah.
We're gonna be like really.
I agree with you. The twins.
You know, I didn't get to tell my story about an uncivilized moment in America.
Do you have time? Do you want to tell it now?
Okay.
Tell it.
So, I just nothing really led up to this, but I just wanted to share that one time I was on a train in America, and I can tell you that the train systems in like any Asian country are so much more civilized than in America. But in America, specifically in Atlanta, we have a big homeless population, and so people kind of go into the train station to like stay warm when it's cold outside. And there was one time that I was sitting next to a woman on a cold day, and she just kind of looks at me and she's like, "I gotta take a shit." And I'm like, "Okay." And so she goes into the little area in between the two trains, you know, when you walk in between the areas, and she's like, she squats down and she takes a shit, and she makes eye contact with me beyond the door. And I just wanted to say that was very uncivilized, and I will never forget that moment.
Okay, Atlanta is the most uncivilized place.
Trap City, yeah.
Trap City.
Oh my God.
It's the city that will trap you and make you watch as they take a shit.
Oh my God.
But I will say that that was one person. In China, everyone's spitting on the ground.
I think spitting is so much civilized than taking a shit in a
But-
train.
Again, I will say that was one person. Everyone's doing it here.
Defend spitting, Chinese people.
We are suffering from, I don't know, coronaviruses. We all have very problematic throats. And yeah.
That lady was suffering from diarrhea.
Okay, reasonable.
She was like, it's gonna be my pants or this train.
So, Alia, welcome to Chongqing, which is a mountain city. So we have a lot of stairs. So instead of star rating, we have a stair rating here. The lowest point is 0. The highest is 1,000. So today, for the concept of being civilized, like how good is being civilized good to you?
Okay.
Please give us your stair rating.
How good is being civilized to me? I'm still pretty young. I would say that
Out of 1,000.
out of 1,000, how good is being civilized to me is about a 600.
Wow.
600.
I think personally it's 400.
Oh.
Yeah, I think the benefit of being civilized was outweighed by the drawbacks
What are the drawbacks?
of being civilized. That you follow the rules too much. You are taking other people so much important.
Yeah.
Yeah, care too much about other people's or the social's opinions on you. Sorry.
Oh no, I completely understand that.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I come from like America, very culturally diverse. And so like being someone that was raised, like you have to be a certain way. You have to show up a certain way. You have to speak a certain way for you to like even get a foot in the door. Like, I guess I value like civilization a little bit higher. So like for me, like 600, I felt like, oh, that's pretty low. But now when I hear you say 400, it's like I immediately thought about how like when I show up, or I was taught growing up, when I show up, I don't just show up for me. I show up for other Black people. So it's like, oh, I have to be good.
No, we are just me. We are not representing anyone. You know.
But you don't, I would say you don't necessarily have to represent anyone if you're in a culture where you're surrounded by Chinese people. So like, do you think that you would feel the same if you went to America and like, well, there's a lot of Chinese people in America, but
Everywhere, actually.
you're like everywhere, you're like, I'm that bitch. Everywhere you go.
I do think a lot of Chinese share the same thought with you. They have the obligation to represent Chinese like everywhere. Like maybe they will speak quieter or stop speaking as they do in China.
They just
But I
like
don't
the
think speak wherever you want.
No, do it in the grass. Do it in the grass.
If you don't feel comfortable in your throat, spit.
I'm okay with like spitting, but like it makes me so anxious because in America, if you hear someone going, oh, it's gonna be on you.
Oh.
So like when I hear that, like I get like PTSD. I'm like, oh no.
Oh, I see. That's the cultural difference.
Yeah.
What's the stair rating?
100.
Oh, that's
100. I really sometimes not think about the guys who is we are strangers for each other. I don't care about you. I do what I'm comfortable. I have why the 100 stairs for me just like I will never hurt any guy. I just do some things make me comfortable, but do not hurt any guys others. I will say some. That's maybe that's why my son will say what the fuck when he just.
I think your song saying "what the fuck" and the stair rating from us two shows that Chongqing do not care about being civil.
Yeah. That's what I mean. I just think we don't care about that.
When it's humid and hot, I want to take my shirt off and show my belly.
Well, no, I'm
love
not
that.
because my body will hurt everybody. Guys, some guys.
That's your problem, not mine, right? Close your eyes if you don't want to see it.
no, I see it and it makes me like I'll pull my shirt up and start slapping my belly too. I'm like,
A lot of-
I'm one of the natives. I'm Chinese now, slapping my belly. You know, so
Yeah, always in the mid-age Chinese guys. Yeah, well, that's really nice.
What we talk about with the people in Chongqing being uncivilized do make the city with very comparatively fewer people suffering from depression or other psychological
I have an
problems.
opinion just like that. For example, if you go back to your home just with your family, you will be uncivilized. So maybe we can change our idea. Maybe Chongqing guys just think in this city. Every guy just think, wow, this is my hometown. We don't have the public space opinion. So we will think, yeah, this is my home. You are my homely. You are my family. You are my homie. Yeah, my homie. This is trap city.
Can I say one thing? Even I like hip-hop, trap or anything, or I support being uncivilized, but still I don't want people shitting and spitting everywhere.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, I thought you were force spitting everywhere.
I support the right to spit everywhere, but I don't want the spit
You
everywhere.
want everyone just to be high stairs, but you are not. Yeah, that's cool.
I think if I stay in China, I will never have your experience. You just tell.
Why?
About
I
like,
don't think Chinese care too much to shit in public.
oh, like taking a shit in public. Well, we got to keep in mind that she probably had diarrhea and mental illness.
I think even a Chinese have a diarrhea, he will shit in his pants, not in public. I don't know.
I
Wow.
have said on multiple occasions so far being in China that I have like walked across multiple like shit crime scenes. Yeah. But they were probably from babies. Yeah. But multiple shit crime scenes, like multiple. I want to say 3.
I don't want to make a smelly ending with our video. Can we change back to a positive image?
Oh, Chongqing, Trap City.
You are my homie. Yeah, we have fun.
I have to
yeah.
teach you home skillet biscuit.
Wow.
You gotta say it all. Home skillet biscuit.
Home skate. What's the last
My
word?
friend. Home skillet biscuit.
Yeah, home skate. Basket. Oh,
You're my home skillet biscuit.
Oh,
yeah.
crap. Oh my god.
You got it.
Less 五多.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, less
Ba, ba, ba.
voodoo.
Yeah.
Wow,
Remember
that's
the slogan of the Chongqing as a trap city. We have a
city.
label called Gash, and the slogan is less voodoo. Voodoo is foggy city, another
Foggy
name for Chongqing.
Voodoo. Oh,
Make a
voodoo would
name
have
for
took me
Chongqing.
somewhere else. Man, that's kind of
I
scary.
think voodoo is also the name of a rapper, a native rapper here.
How do you spell voodoo?
voodoo.
In Chinese,
Well, in pinyin, how does it spell?
W-U.
Oh, there's a W. See, if it was V-O, I was going somewhere else.
and D-U.
W.
Like a voodoo. V-O-O-D-O-O.
Yeah, voodoo.
Oh,
Less
that's-
voodoo.
so I taught you home skillet biscuit, and next time I'm gonna be like, let's do.
Yeah, less voodoo. The young people in Chongqing will like you if you say less voodoo. They will
Less
say you are one of their homie.
What's
You're my homie.
up? Let's voodoo.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay, I would like to end the video with less voodoo. So like and subscribe our channel and videos, and you can also find Alia on YouTube at
Unitedly random.
yeah. So less voodoo.
Let's
less
我死
voodoo.
火锅，你死火锅底呀！
hold the thing down.
火锅底。
just like we eat chicken, but
We
you get
eat
soup.
hot pot, you drink the hot pot soup.
Does that mean you don't like someone? You just give them the soup?
Yeah, this is the rap song. The rap song. They just say we eat hot pot, but you get hot pot. We get hot pot food. You eat hot pot soup. Soup.
It doesn't sound like a. Is this a Chongqing rapper?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uncivilized.
That's
Yeah.
What's up?